right, for this section on 1C, adding integers, I have basically copied and pasted from our INB the little rules that we came up with for adding integers. We learned that in order to add two numbers that have the same sign, we add the numbers and we keep their sign. All right? When we're adding two numbers that have different signs, meaning one is positive and the other one's negative, we subtract those numbers and we keep the sign of the quote-unquote bigger number. If we're going to be technical, it is the number with the larger absolute value. All right, but in our human minds, we typically just think bigger number. Okay, so let's kind of color code some of these, all right? We can look at these first three problems because these three problems all have just two numbers. And let's highlight the ones that match the first rule in pink. So we're looking for two numbers that have the same sign. So out of A and B and C, that would be A. All right, this is a negative and this is also a negative. Now, let's talk about the other ones with green, signs that are different. So in this case, for B, we have a -7 and a +3, +5, and we have a +7 and a -5. All right, so let's stop here and talk about those answers. For this first one, we add those numbers and keep their sign. So think about what that number would be. For these remaining two, B and C, we know that since they're different, we subtract those numbers and it's going to keep the sign of the bigger number. So in part B or problem B, 7 is bigger, so our answer would be negative, whereas C, 7 of course is positive, so that would be the sign for your answer there. All right. For the remaining three problems, they're a little bit more complicated because they don't just have two numbers, they have three. Now with addition, since all of these have addition signs, we have the privilege or the opportunity or the luxury, however you want to think about it, but we can move some things around because addition always has what we call the commutative property, which means that if we don't really want this -8 to be next to the +3, no big whoop, we can move it, right? And I like to move things around or at least group them together based on their signs. So for example, in D, I would probably think, well, -8 and -2 can go together because the signs are the same. So -8 and -2 make -10. So now what I have is -10 and a +3. And in that case, those are different. This is -10 and this is +3. So think about what your answer would be for those. For E, we look and we say, well, this one's negative and this one is also negative and this one is also negative. So I can just go ahead and put them all together in one big happy family, and I'm going to add those numbers and keep their sign. In this case for F, I see that -3 and -2 have the same sign, and that would give me a -5. And now I have a -5 together with a +8. Those signs are not the same, which means I need to subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number. Good luck with all of these. If you have any other questions, please let me know.